Hello there, and welcome back to another episode of the DragonSMP. It's season 3, and you know what that means? A new world, a new beginning, and I'm gonna start completely over again. So does everyone else on the server. First day I couldn't actually be there, but the second day I was there and I got off grinding as usual. I immediately started off, did some recording. It was a bit scuffed. Some stuff went wrong with my mic, but I did my best to try and fix it. But I hope you enjoy the episode and let's get right into it. So this season, I'm going to do something a little bit different than usual. I'm going to be basing up with someone else. In this case, with Dragon. And luckily she did pick out a spot already for us to make a base in. And that happens to be 10,000 blocks away from spawn. Very nice. Anyway, I had to travel there, and while traveling I did gather a decent amount of stuff. A few diamonds. I already had a diamond pickaxe because of that. Quite a bit of iron. And you know, not too shabby. It's pretty nice. Anyway, I met her. I tried to kind of sneak there and not let her know that I was actually there, which happened to immediately not go into the way I wanted it to be, because when I started the recording, she already caught me. And luckily, I did manage to play it off very nicely, and I tricked her into thinking I'm an iron golem. Now, after calming her back down again and convincing her I was in fact not an iron golem, I went ahead and settled somewhere nearby and started clearing out a small area, which went very swimmingly. Jeez. Why I think that rabbit was a creeper? Now, after clearing out that very small area, I noticed that I had pretty much not gathered any of the saplings, which was not very smart, but I managed to spin it into kind of a fun idea to race for saplings together with Dragon, and the winner would get the first good enchanted pickaxe. And after both agreeing for rules and which saplings to gather, we went ahead with the plan. So after starting the race at Dragon's base, I immediately noticed the oak trees that she planted there. I immediately took advantage by that by stripping down an entire tree by getting just one single sapling. It literally couldn't get worse than that, but I mean, I had to move on. So I still remembered that there was a mangrove forest pretty close to the desert. So I immediately went over there via the boat, and after looking at the recording, I noticed that I immediately got the sapling, which was one of those weird pointy things that hang from the trees. I mean, I had no clue how those mangrove trees worked, okay? Please don't bully me. I destroyed a ton of leaves after finally realizing that I had the sapling already in my inventory. So then I went out of there and I went over to the savannah, which was pretty close to jungle and normal forest. So those were 4 saplings, pretty easy to get. But with that, it also meant that the oak sapling that I gathered already was pretty useless because it was there as well. So it didn't really save me any time getting it at Dragon's base. Anyway, I needed just 3 more saplings. The dark oak sapling, the spruce sapling, and azalea, which isn't actually a sapling, but we counted that in as well. I remember seeing it over at a different jungle biome, so I went over there gathering that. Now, after azalea, only the 2 saplings, dark oak and spruce, were left, but we both knew that that was going to be really difficult to get because we both had no clue where it was, and so it was just go and travel into a random direction and hope you find it. Now, keep in mind that it is still early game, so any loot you come across is maybe pretty good and could be useful later on. So you can bet your ass I yanked all of the hay bales and continued going. Now on the way, I managed to pull off a sick water bucket play. Yep, that's a real 10 out of 10 play right there. And then later found another ruined portal which I looted. So after looting yet another village, I realized that if I really wanted to win this race, I needed to focus more on getting the saplings instead of looting villages. So after doing that, I then came across my kryptonite, a village with 3 blacksmiths. And so I had to loot it. I mean, I had no choice at that point. But after the blacksmiths not containing any good loot, I then continued my way, and after looking around for not too long, I managed to find a mountain which had multiple spruce trees on it, and so gave me a spruce sapling. I then went on top of the mountain to get a better view, and there I managed to find the last sapling I needed, the dark oak. So I gathered that, and then I noticed I had to travel around 3,000 blocks to get back to Dragon's base. But eventually, after a 20-minute trip, I managed to get back to her base, where we both realized that neither of us had enough levels to actually enchant a pickaxe. So it was really just to get the saplings, and there was no price at all. So anyway, I got back to my base and I continued chopping some trees now. So after a quick bit of chopping some trees, I figured I'd go mining because I needed levels and I needed lapis because I also realized I had none of that. So when I went mining, it started off quite rough with some creepers trying to gang up on me in a corner. What the hell is going on here? Am I being threatened or something? But it soon turned out for the better when I found a ton of lapis and I found a mine shaft. I even found diamonds. Then I found another spawner which did get blown up by a creeper, but I found another one that also got blown up by a creeper. But I once again found some diamonds, another spawner which did in fact not get blown up by a creeper, and lastly I found some more diamonds to finish it off. Overall, a pretty successful mining trip, and now it was time to get enchanted. And as we all know, the first enchantment you need is mending, and after trying to get it, I got an irresistible unbreaking free trade for 14 emeralds, which I just had to take. I then noticed the cows looked a little lonely, and I still needed some levels, so I bred the cows. I then tried to get mending for 20 minutes straight, which failed, and then I continued breeding some more cows. I swear, I'm not stopping this until this gets under like 60 FPS. I then got Fortune 3 and Efficiency 4 on my pickaxe, which was good enough considering I had a breaking free trade and I was getting mending. I then continued trading, but I accidentally made 64 buttons instead. So I then put them in a chest for Dragon with a sign in front of it saying, "Figured you'd need buttons." I then finally got a good mending trade for 22 emeralds. And it was at this point where I've been trading for like 45 minutes. And the reason I'm telling you this is because no man can stay sane after trading with villagers for 45 minutes. So it was at this point where my sanity started to deteriorate rapidly. I then continued breeding the cows for another minute or two and put some weird shiny books in the chest with buttons for Dragon because I didn't know what to do with them. I then bred more cows. We've reached 50 FPS. You know, let's just go for 40. And I also made a quick egg farm, which I then checked up on. What are you eating? Are you eating your own shit? What? Why are you eating your own shit? I then bred the cows even more. And then I made a good Fortune 3 pickaxe for both me and Dragon and put that together with some shiny books in the chest with buttons. And after this, you guessed it, I bred more cows. You know what? We've reached 40. We might as well go for 30. Now, you think my sanity was quite low? Well, it has now officially reached 0. How can I tell? Well, just look at this clip of me with this Fletcher. Like, what am I even doing here? Because I don't even know. Well, it's a clip from me. Heck, I even put more buttons in the chest with already too many buttons. I'm crying. So I've bred some cows, you know, nothing too serious. I still have 34 FPS. And after one final check on the chickens, still eating your own shit, I see. I realized that I needed to regain my sanity, so I went mining with my Fortune 3 pickaxe. So to quickly summarize the mining for you, I found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 diamond veins in total when Dragon joined the server to watch the madness at her base. I then went to her base to help her process all of this madness, except my sanity wasn't fully restored yet. I thought she liked the buttons. It was like, you like the buttons at your base? And then, oh, thank you. And now I see she didn't take the buttons. It's Wow. Anyway, this was the episode. A like would be greatly appreciated. And if you do so, consider subscribing. See you all in the next one. Have a nice day and be good people. See ya. This is pure art. No, she's killing them. What is she doing? No, stop. No.